it, y'all. We live. We live.
Whew.
We are live.
We
Yeah,
live, y'all.
This is a crucial live stream we gonna get into.
Facts. Facts.
Yeah, we gonna get into this, y'all. I mean, we need y'all to come in, tune in, hit that like button, share this live stream.
Serious. This is serious. Serious, man. Bigger than we thought. It's all bigger than we thought. And it's not enough people talking about it right now, but people gonna be talking about it within the next couple months. I tell you that.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
just wait till they see what's about to take place.
Mm-hmm. Come on in, y'all. What's going on? Shout out to y'all.
What up? What up? What up?
I'm just sharing this, y'all. We need some of y'all to share this on y'all social medias, Facebooks, Insta, whatever, X, whatever y'all at. Let people know it's live. Cause we gonna get into this shit. There's a lot of things going on, man. A lot of things is coming up.
A lot of things.
That this country is about to see a big change, especially this move this D-head nigga just made today.
Sheesh.
Well, he just signed today on some D-head shit, bro.
We told y'all you can't trust anybody that's in that Oval Office. Nobody. I don't care what political party they are. They all part of one system. We tell y'all all the time. This ain't no argument of who's better. Yeah, oh, you know, this party does this party did that. Nah, they all working for the same individuals. And that's just what it is.
Dang. All right, so we gonna get into this, man. We ain't gonna keep y'all too long. We gonna get y'all the information that y'all need to know, not what y'all want to hear. What y'all need to hear.
X.
What y'all need to know. Now you seeing moves being made that tell you that expose right what the agenda is. You know what the agenda is. And the agenda this agenda doesn't even
what we've been telling y'all.
It supersedes past political parties. This type of agenda don't have shit to do with none of the political parties. This is some other shit.
Right.
This some other shit. This
political parties is just a tool.
Yeah, this is some other shit right here. I think we should even start off with that. I don't even think we should I think we should just get straight into that. And then we go into some other topics. So we're gonna go ahead and get into so Trump signing these tariffs today, signed that bill, which we gotta get into because this shit is crazy, bro. I don't even think people know what the hell's happening.
I don't think so neither. Obviously people don't. You know what? They're gonna find out fast, real fast.
Let's get into this shit. Let me know if y'all can hear this.
Just minutes after the day's market closed, President Trump walking into the Rose Garden.
My fellow Americans, this is Liberation Day.
Announcing a new 10% tariff on every American trading partner. But that's not all.
China, 67%. That's tariffs charged to the USA. So we're going to be charging a discounted reciprocal tariff of 34%.
The U.S. will also now charge half the tax on foreign goods that dozens of countries charge on American products to level the playing field, he says.
This is not full reciprocal. This is kind reciprocal. If they complain, if you want your tariff rate to be zero, then you build your product right here in America.
The president saying he's fulfilling a key campaign promise.
Jobs and factories will come roaring back into our country, and you see it happening already. We will pry open foreign markets and break down foreign trade barriers. And ultimately, more production at home will mean stronger competition and lower prices for consumers.
The White House touting hundreds of billions of dollars in new investment in the U.S. from companies looking to avoid tariffs, including Hyundai announcing a $5 billion steel plant in Louisiana, and Apple saying it will create 20,000 jobs, expanding U.S. facilities. All after the president previously announced 20% tariffs on Chinese imports, 25% on aluminum and steel, and 25% on certain goods from Mexico and Canada. Starting tomorrow, he'll also impose 25% tariffs on imported cars. Tariffs, a policy Trump has promoted for decades, saying free trade deals destroyed American workers.
They come over here, they sell their cars, their VCRs, they knock the hell out of our companies.
Democrats now furious.
This is not Liberation Day, it's Recession Day.
Some Republicans are worried.
Our consumers, our manufacturers, our potato farmers will pay the price.
Economists estimate the tariffs could add an extra $2,500 to $5,000 for the lowest cost American cars and up to $20,000 for some imported models.
What would you say to Americans who worry that they'll have to pay more in the short term?
Well, I'm not sure why they would have to pay more in the short term. That we don't know what the price effects are going to be. Will there be a one-time price adjustment? Could be.
Stephen Capone's steel company employs 100 people in Massachusetts. He strongly supports Trump's tariffs to stop Canadian competition from decimating his business.
Since NAFTA, I've seen Canada, Quebec in particular, just keep getting stronger and stronger as the New England steel industry has, dwindled away.
Jenna Dick runs a bridal shop in Kansas. She says the vast majority of wedding gowns are made in China, meaning tariffs hit hard.
It'll raise costs for myself and for our clients because we do have to pass some of that on to them.
And Gabe, it looks like the president pulled his punch a little bit, making an adjustment going smaller on some of those tariffs than he originally indicated.
Yes, Lester, the president had repeatedly said the tariffs would be completely reciprocal, and he's gotten a lot of criticism over those plans. Now he'll only charge half of what other countries tax the U.S. One White House official saying, quote, the president is lenient and he wants to be kind to the world. Lester.
All right, Gabe Gutierrez at the White House. Let me bring in senior business correspondent Christine Romans. Talk, if you can, a little bit about the new tariffs, how they'll be implemented, and what reaction we're already seeing.
Yeah, so the White House says that Customs and Border Protection will start to collect those tariffs at ports of entry. The fees on auto imports, those begin at midnight tonight. The baseline 10% tariff on everyone, that's later this week. And then next week, these substantial, what the president calls reciprocal tariffs, those are on about 60 select nations. And tonight we are seeing
April
stock
2nd,
markets fall sharply. Dow futures down by more than 1,000 points right now after the president's announcement. Big importers like Apple and Nike so far being hit hard in after-hours trading. The White House has said it expects these tariffs to raise hundreds of billions of dollars a year, but some economists tonight are disagreeing, and it remains to be seen if other countries now target U.S.-made goods in some form of retaliation.
All right, Chris.
Now, being as though everything is made in China, we outsource to China. They make everything that America imports in this country. We don't have any exports. So being as though he putting all these tariffs on these imports that's coming in, that's going to skyrocket the price of everything. People ain't gonna be able to afford none of that shit. That shit gonna be high as hell.
Now his logic is, if you tax all of them, it'll just make more money for the country. But all that's going to do is just going to redistribute the wealth to the federal government and taking away from the individual American who's trying to start their own business. Because a lot of us have to outsource to other countries to get cheaper things so we can run our companies.
Exactly.
Because everything is made in China. Everything. So we was lined up. I feel like we was lined up. They made sure throughout the last couple decades that United States become completely dependable on other countries, and then they put this jerk in there to basically raise these tariffs, to start these tariffs, so it can affect us in that way to the point where it's going to wipe out all business owners who's middle class. All business owners are going to be wiped out, like private business owners, not the big corporations. The big corporations is going to survive this because they're invested in artificial intelligence, which we're going to get into. But a lot of entrepreneurs and individual, Americans who create their own wealth by starting their own their own companies, independent of the federal government, is going to be wiped out. So all that's going to do is just going to give all the money to the big corporations, Tesla, SpaceX, Elon Musk, and wipe out all private basically private wealth. So you ain't gonna be able to get wealthy in America as an individual citizen anymore. That tariffs is only gonna basically support the federal government, which is just gonna give the government more power. That's it. That's all it's gonna do. And they're not playing. They talking about some 20,000 jobs. Them 20,000 jobs is going to artificial intelligence, and that's what we going into right now. People ain't gonna have no jobs. AI is going to take those jobs. They already got the technology waiting to launch. Everybody is replaceable, from the trash man to the doctor to the teacher to the McDonald's employee
to
the janitor. Everybody is being replaced. You're like, damn, what they gonna do with all the humans? Universal basic income. That's what they're gonna do. That's why Elon Musk was talking about that. Universal basic income. Which means that's going to be 100% controlled by the government. That's called fascism, and it's called dictatorship. This is going to be literally this is literally going to be a dictatorship. That's what it is.
Scientific
scientific dictatorship. That's exactly what it is. We finished, y'all. Checkmate. Checkmate. And they use both political parties to do this.
Yeah.
They use the Democrats and the Republicans to do this. They made sure they drained our economy with Biden by him shipping billions of dollars over to the Ukraine and other little black op projects that they had going on. And they bought Trump in to finish the rest. Because they both work for the same oligarchs that want this whole new world order thing, which is basically ran by AI, and all the humans are basically on this universal basic income system where you digital currencies that expire. And that's basically their plan.
Right. And how they gonna do it? They're gonna use that $5,000 incentive to get everybody on that.
Exactly.
That's what the Fed now thing is set up for anyway. So yeah, America is not the America that we once knew. It's definitely different now.
Everybody's gonna be damn near 80% of Americans is gonna be homeless by next year if these tariffs kick in. Because you gotta understand the prices of everything. The prices are going to be so sky high that they're going to have to declare an emergency and say, oh, we got to do something about this. And you already know what they're going to do. Just go back and look at history with the Nazi Germany, because he's taking the playbook right out of Nazi Germany playbook, the whole fascism thing, using the corporations to basically be able to pull a dictatorship off. Then it was IBM. Now it's Tesla, SpaceX, and all the rest. I'm trying to tell y'all. This is literally
same pattern.
Yeah, it's the same plan, but just with better technology. It's the same plan with better technology. We're literally headed into a dictatorship where you ain't gonna be able to do nothing. You say something they don't like, they turn your money off. You know what I mean? You say something online on your social media profile, AI detected, they turn your money off. You won't be able to go nowhere. You won't be able to get an Uber. You won't be able to drive no car. First of all, you ain't even gonna own no car. That's one thing. They shutting down the public, right?
Yeah.
They shutting down private ownership of cars, period. They be like, we can't do it outright, so we have to do it indirectly by making sure car prices are so high through the tariffs that Americans can't even afford. Americans can't even afford the cars anymore, because you ain't gonna be afford to take care of your car. The parts is gonna be expensive. The labor is gonna be expensive because of the tariffs. But conveniently, they got something to replace that. It's called Tesla automation auto taxi cabs, where there's no steering wheels or nothing. You just get in there and it takes you where you want to go.
Some total recall type of shit.
Completely taking away your individual power. Completely and those things could drive you anywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, drive your ass off a cliff. Right.
Exactly, or drive you down to the police station. Yo, we are being lined up, y'all. Like, we are being lined up, and there's not enough people talking about this. And that's exactly where we going.
The thing, it could be reversed, because all the people gotta do is say no.
People ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, but people, right?
People ain't, because people are too busy focused on other things.
Because if you got enough people that's saying no to certain, I mean, everybody, they said no to that DEI target shit. Then why wouldn't they say? I mean, like. See, that's the thing, though. The media got a way of, sectioning off shit to the where they can make people push people toward a certain agenda and keep people away from a certain agenda. Like this shit here, they're not breaking this shit down in the media like we breaking it down now. So a lot of people just looking at it, him signing these tariffs is it's just like, you know, just him making a certain move, but they're not seeing the the effects of him doing this shit because they're not breaking it down in the media the right way. You see what I'm saying? So people, not enough people know about it. I mean, they was able to get people on that DEI shit the way they, because it's certain things they do in the media, how they able to push certain agendas and shit, right? But they ain't gonna tell you about how important this shit is that this nigga signed this shit, bro. Because everything we do, we outsource with everything in this country.
And you know what else we outsource? Our farming equipment. So you know what that means?
Facts.
The price of food is going to go sky high. You ain't gonna have no way to get no food. You gotta think about it, because farmers, they have to update their farming equipment all the time. Like all the farming, and guess where they get it from mainly? Guess who makes all the farming equipment? China, Vietnam, places like that that got the biggest tariffs. So they already took over most of our farmland. You know, the government already took away a lot of the government funding to the farmland, so they already took that away. And then you got places like China that bought a lot of our farmland already through Bill Gates, who owns a lot of the farmland. We already know what that guy's agenda is, and that he's just a decoy, because the real threat is in that White House right now. And they're making the moves that's going to finish everything up. Listen, man, these prices are going to be so high in this year that it's going to be insane. Y'all don't understand what's happening. Y'all don't understand. All that other stuff that people's paying attention to ain't going to mean nothing once this stuff jump off. It ain't going to mean nothing. All that other stuff that's going on in the media, Diddy and all this stuff, none of that is going to mean nothing.
We already signed it. They starting to tax motherfuckers tonight.
Exactly.
They said latest tonight.
Exactly. That's why I said
early is tonight. They gonna start the, you know what I mean, tax.
Right.
Shit that's coming.
All those people thought Trump was, he's different. He's on. Nah, man, he's part of the system too. They're all actors, yo. We told y'all this already. All them people who in that Oval Office, they get paid to sit there and act. That's what they do. They get privileges. They get special privileges, special business deals. Yep.
Just the sign. Yeah, they just there to push the paperwork. That's it.
Right. Right. That's all they there for. And it's a shame we don't know that, because you go and you read comment sections, when you see people talking about these issues, they still blaming political parties. They think, I'm mad at people who voted for Trump. It don't matter who you vote for. They all work for the same entities.
And that's the technocrats. I mean, we're just seeing this shit. Like, so Elon Musk, he sells X to himself through his xAi company. And you already know what they plan to do with that shit. Social credit system they setting up with that. You know what I mean? So Elon Musk, AI firm xAi purchases X, formerly known as Twitter, for $33 billion. Announced Friday. Musk who bought X for $44 billion in 2022 says the acquisition included the xAi and the X's data models and distribution and talent. According to Musk, the move will unlock the immense potential of blending xAI's advanced AI capabilities and expertise with X massive reach. He said the combined company will deliver smarter and more meaningful experiences to billions of people while staying true to its core mission to seeking and advancing knowledge. Musk wrote in a post on X. He said the merge between X and xAi Musk's latest step in building and all encompassing everything app. That means he's going to emerge in a market. He's emerging the market with the social media thing. So everything is going to be, dealing with the crypto credits You're gonna be able to purchase things with crypto right off of x.com.
And they can shut that off whenever they want. They can shut yours off personally. Whenever you say something online they don't like, they can easily turn your credits off. Like that's literally what's happening.
Yeah. So that's the way they setting these social medias up, as far as with emerging it with markets and shit. Where you'll be able to purchase shit with cryptocurrency. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. All right, so they concerns already about the xAI's chatbots. What's that? Grok, Grok, which is developed by xAI due to the amount of data it collects. So it's basically collecting all the data of, all the social media movement, dealing with the people. It's collecting and basically collecting data, building profiles, all that shit. Which he's going to use that, to basically benefit x.com. And he already had this plan early on. Remember, he had that plan early on. It was like 1990 something. He already had the plan. They already had his company already was set up then. The late 90s.
You ain't gonna be the richest man in the world, not be a part of the program that's running everything.
Nah, yeah, you're the program. Yeah, he is the damn program.
Exactly. He was always the plan. His companies were always the plan. They just had to basically ease it into us inch by inch.
No diddy.
Exactly. And that's what they was doing over the years, conditioning us over the years to accept this. Yeah, like we're done, y'all. Like we're finished. That's why they
come out with the plan, because people wasn't ready.
Yeah, people wasn't ready. That's why they needed social media and all that stuff first. To condition us, because social media and fat convenience and social media conditioned us.
Where you
gotta think about it.
Monetize your content and get paid off the platforms through ad revenue. Yeah, that was all conditioning us to for this shit.
All conditioning. And you gotta think about it. The reason why they firing everybody and they talking about, the tariffs is gonna bring all these companies back to the United States. Yeah, the companies will come back to the United States, but they not gonna hire humans. All these companies that's gonna come back to the United States, they are deeply invested in artificial intelligence, and majority of their jobs can be done with artificial intelligence. So humans are basically expendable. That's why they population control. That's why they were so aggressive, with certain things that cause illnesses.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They were so aggressive with certain things that they made us do and made us take that cause illnesses. And they still poisoning everything. They poisoning our food, they poisoning our water, because the realistic thing they feel like they have to do is get rid of most of us, because they realize if it's too many of us, this plan won't work. So they want to lower the population even more before they completely introduce 100% AI, because that's where they aiming. They aiming for everything to be 100% automation.
We ain't got to play the audio, but y'all know TED Talk. They actually struck our channel for playing that shit last time, even though it's on YouTube.
Right.
That don't make no sense. It's on YouTube. We played
it on YouTube.
Why you strike our channel for that, YouTube? It was on YouTube. But we talking about that Bill Gates video where he did that TED Talk saying we pretty much got to get some of these numbers down to zero. He said through the poker, the jab, the jizzy, you know what I mean?
They said they don't have. Terrell said they don't have to feed robots real food. The thing is, not just that. It's just that if they charging all that money for tariffs, you know what I'm saying? That means everything that comes from other countries to run a business, you know what I'm saying, it's going to be so expensive that you can't even afford to hire humans. So anybody who ain't highly invested in artificial intelligence that own a business, you basically going to go out of business. So that was their plan from the beginning, and that's what's happening. That's what's happening. Like, that's the chess. It's chess, not checkers. And he's trying to romance us and sweet talk us. So I was like, you got to think about in the 1880 when we did the tariff thing and we charged all these tariffs. You got to think about how much money that made for the federal government. Yeah, that made a lot of money for the federal government. That didn't make a lot of money for the American people. The American people went through the Great Depression. The federal government was eating.
Exactly.
Federal government basically set
eating.
these corporations in place because these corporations are really owned by the federal government. They always been owned by the federal government. Set these corporations up.
Right.
All the corporations you love, the Nikes, all these, the Ford, all them, Adidas, all them niggas you love is owned by the government and always have been. That's state-sponsored stuff. That's why they get the most funding. That's why it seems like they got infinite money. Even when their sales is down, they still got money for billions of dollars in marketing. It's because the federal government got infinite money. That's what it is. That's crazy that people are still falling for this crap when they do the same thing over and over again. And this time, they got even more higher technology to do it because they didn't have all this artificial intelligence then like they got now. You know what I'm saying? And you got to think about it. They attempted this in multiple parts of the world, in the United States and Nazi Germany and Russia. They did all. You got to understand, they all in cahoots. All these world leaders are not against each other. All these world leaders are with each other against the people.
Yeah, that's why the UN is their meeting grounds.
Right.
The United Nations, their meeting grounds. Don't get it confused like they up there,
facts.
Where, taking care of business that's going to benefit the people. Them niggas is meeting up there to see basically how we can keep the world at bay. How we can keep the world at bay, especially them trilateral commissions.
Right.
All them Bilderberg groups and all that shit. Them niggas be secretly meeting, figuring out how they can keep,
and the world leaders who's not in it because they get assassinated. All the world leaders who don't go along with the plan get assassinated. That's how I know Trump is. And that stuff that them shooting at Trump, that was fake. That was fake. That was, I don't care what none of y'all say. That was fake. He had one of them little devices on his ear that explode with fake blood, the same thing they use in movies and wrestling. Yep.
Wrestling.
And it wasn't no real shot towards him.
Because he ain't had no mark on his ear. He ain't had no bullets.
Man, that was fake.
When you get grazed by a bullet,
that was fake,
you will see
man.
that mark. You will see.
I don't know why people can't see this shit. I can see right through the illusions. It's fake. All of it is fake. 100% fake. And who do he blame? He blames a country that they want to invade anyway, Iran. He said Iran was responsible for trying to assassinate. If you do it again, we go. That and they've been talking about invading Iran for like the last 4 administrations.
Yeah, last 40 years, 30 years.
You know what I'm saying? So it's all fake, y'all. That's what we're trying to touch. And all these big major corporations are owned by the government. The government and the corporations are the same entities. They got and the thing is, they programmed us to be like, oh, you basically, your worth is based on what products you get from these corporations, the brand of these corporations, and we all judge each other on that. And it's nothing but just state-sponsored programming. That's the MK Ultra right there. That's the mind control right there. Us judging each other based on a lie.
I mean, that's the way they able to keep people at bay, because they able to separate, able to keep people separated. They keep people divided.
We being played.
If you keep people divided on all fronts, then there's no way they can come up against the federal government, because they all fighting amongst each other. And they do that
by 2030.
Yeah, they do that. They do that through the media. They keep people divided on these stupid ass issues that don't mean a goddamn thing, because that be the throw off right there. They throw these agendas out there, these social agendas, and have people fighting amongst each other on that dumb shit. Why they taking care of this type of business right here? Yeah, don't get caught up in the nonsense, bro. Don't get caught up in that shit.
This ain't about no Republican and Democrat stuff. It's bigger than that. Yeah, they only use that stuff as tools.
Yeah, because
they only use that political stuff as tools to get their agenda through. And it's only really one group that's trying to do this.
Because this is a global thing. This is not an American thing. So you got to realize this is a plan that's that all world leaders are involved in.
Facts.
And if you ain't sitting down at the table, then they just going to take you out. That's just how they play. They running this shit like the mafia. Now he's taxing every corporation that they outsource to, that we get our imports in. He's taxing all that shit. That's what the mafia do. They tax every damn thing. Hey, he's running this shit like he a mob boss, bro.
Well, that's what the government been doing. I mean,
So
the government was before the mafia, so the government always ran stuff like that.
But now he's, and the thing is, what kills me is the fact that we in so much debt with China, but we taxing them at the same time. That's some crazy shit, bro.
Bro, we not just in debt with China.
I know that, but
the world, because we've been getting everything imported here.
Yeah, but we get everything from China. Like, you just see him read off the list. He said China's 67%.
No, that's how much he's charging in tariffs.
Yeah,
No, that's how much he's charging in tariffs. That ain't the amount of stuff we get from him.
He's
charging them
that's what I'm saying.
67%.
That's
crazy.
what I'm saying. They was at the top. That's what I'm saying. Like, how are we in debt with China, but he taxing them 67%?
That's crazy,
that's
bro.
Crazy, bro. That's like, well, you burnt. And he pretty much said, y'all niggas is burnt. You still got to pay that money though. We ain't paying.
But that's gonna cause a global trade war though, because they're gonna charge us tariffs too. So that's gonna just bankrupt the world, and it's gonna force everybody on this digital universal basic income, because they want this plan done by 2030. They already written about it. See, they write books about, and they know majority of the population don't read, and the people who do read, we get laughed at. And y'all conspiracy theories, y'all this. But we telling y'all, they write books based on what they're going to do and how they're going to do it, because for some odd reason they have to tell us what they're going to do, and they love telling us through books. They tell us what they're going to do, but they know majority of the population is ignorant, and they only going to repeat what they hear on TV or from their favorite political party. But they
you breaking up.
Right about this.
You going in the matrix.
Like me.
You going in the matrix, bro.
Those books, and I'm telling y'all, by 2030 they want everybody on you. Of course I'm breaking up. Anything you say that they don't like. Am I good?
Yeah, I think you good now.
Anything you say that they don't like, they could turn your money off. Anything y'all niggas think Facebook jail and Instagram jail and all that stuff is bad now. Just wait until you can't use your money to do anything. Your universal basic income. They saying by 2030 we want this completely automated, because they know humans can show compassion, but an automated system won't. So if they preset the automated system to where if you say something they don't like, it ain't gonna be no human there to be like, oh man, let me let this person breathe a little bit. Now the automated system is gonna be cutthroat.
Yeah, because it's already pre-programmed to make this. Yeah, it's already
pre-programmed. Exactly. They want that by 2030.
So now you understand how, like, you can't even really contact a human when dealing with these platforms.
Nope.
Because they got everything on an automated system. So by the time a human it takes a while for a human to even get to it. You know what I'm saying?
2030, they want this done. And these tariffs is going to accelerate it, because they already got the artificial intelligence tech. They already got the technology already ready to go. They just need the incident to happen to where the global economy collapse. Then they could say, oh, the only thing we can do to heal this is universal basic income. That's their plan. They're going to say universal because you got to think about it. This is going to collapse the world economy. These tariffs, and they doing it through Trump. Trump is just an actor. He's a face.
Now listen to what I'm saying, right? Being as though when they knew he was going, when these tariffs got signed into place, gold went up to 3,200. This is the highest gold has ever went up. 3,200 an ounce. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically what happens. Like when the market is changing and gold prices, it fluctuate. I mean, based on how the market is moving. So being as though he made this move that he made, that shot the gold prices up high as hell. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen in the United States. These y'all understand the domino effect that these tariffs is gonna. This is a huge thing. Some states is gonna succeed from the federal government.
Yeah.
And become their own country. Some states, because that will remove you from the tariff thing, and you will be able to trade with countries. You know what I mean? Independent of the federal government, being your own state, which is a country now, because you succeeded from the federal government. But what that can do, that can cause a civil war, because the federal government could go send a military after that state that succeeded and say, we don't want you to trade with them.
Yeah, about to say, not only that, because certain states, each state will be importing and exporting.
Exactly. That's the point.
That definitely can cause a civil war. I mean,
that could cause a civil war.
I mean, and if any state was to do that first, we know it would be
Texas.
Texas would be the first state to branch off and become its own. And
state. Florida would follow right behind.
Yep,
probably New Orleans after that.
Yeah, Alabama, shit like that, right?
Yep, like Alabama, and that's going to cause a civil war in the United States.
Yes,
states are going to start succeeding because the prices are going to be so high, and citizens are going to be complaining to their states because you ain't gonna be able to reach the federal government. They don't care what you niggas like Trump. They ain't gonna care what you talking about. So it's going to force the hand of the politicians in Texas or whatever state decide to succeed first. They're gonna be like, we're gonna have to succeed from the federal government, and it's within the state's right to do that. And once they start doing that, I'm telling you, y'all, that is going to be the United States is going to be in chaos. The United States is going to be in chaos. Y'all don't understand what's happening. This is about to change everything. This is about to change everything. And the thing is, people don't think that far ahead. But the thing is, you ain't even got to think that far ahead when you start reading this information that they write themselves. They telling you what they want to do. It was already old maps of them showing how they're going to divide the United States up.
Yeah, them maps are there.
Once after this happened.
Hey.
They was putting those maps out a while ago in the 90s. It's probably before that.
The thing is, America was that before it became a corporation, United States. So each state represented its own self before they turned this into the United States of America.
Yeah, because before it was just the 13 colonies.
Yeah, it was just the 13 colonies.
Then they started spreading out and conquering everything.
Yeah, but before even the 13 colonies, the natives ran this shit. They ran their own. It wasn't no federal thing. It was just each state represented its own self. Each tribe.
Before that was just native territories.
Yeah, just each tribe represented their own.
And it wasn't a whole. They didn't take over whole states. Nah, they just certain territories.
That's what I'm saying. Like tribes represented their own territories. They governed their own territories. They didn't have, governments coming in and shit like that. They governed their own. But then, like you said, when they turned the 13 colonies, they start governing the states and shit. But it was only those 13 states. Then they start branching out and taking over every damn thing.
People don't even understand. If people knew, you could tell people in general don't know what's going on, because if they did, people would be outraged. Like, it would be so bad that they would have to listen and stop this. But it obviously is not bad enough because people still focused on other things. They don't realize by him charging this much for tariffs and the fact that United States depend on other countries just to run, people don't understand what that's going to do to us. Nigga, we going to walk into the store and a loaf of bread is going to be $500. You know what I'm saying? A pear is going to be $80 a pound.
Yeah. Now, if the money system don't match that, that's just gonna be nothing. It's just gonna be crazy, bro.
And they firing everybody at the same time.
Firing everybody.
They fire. So by next year, 80% of Americans will be homeless. With these types of tariffs, by next year, 80% of Americans are going to be homeless. 80%. And y'all think this sound extreme? No. You gotta understand how much United States depend on other countries just to run its day to day. Like that's why they firing everybody, because they knew they was making this move. That's why they bought Elon Musk in, for him to set up the artificial intelligence that's going to set up the universal basic income.
Bill Gates, within 10 years, AI will replace many doctors, teachers, everything pretty much.
Exactly.
So what he said, over the next decade, advances artificial intelligence will mean that the humans will no longer be needed for most things, says the world. In the world, says Bill Gates. That's what the Microsoft co-founder and billionaire philanthropist, and he said, told the comedian Jimmy Fallon. Y'all forgot his dumb ass was on Jimmy Fallon's show, the NBC's Tonight in February. He said, at the moment, the expertise remains rare that Gates explained, pointing to human specialists. We still rely on many fields, including the great doctors and great teachers. But AI over the next decade that will become free, commonplace, great medical advice, great tutoring, Gates said. In other words, the world is entering a new era of what Gates called free intelligence. Yeah, that means AI is basically taking over every damn thing. He said the results will be rapid advances, the AI-powered technologies that are accessible and touch nearly every aspect of our lives. Yeah, you seen those robots? Remember, we did a live stream where we pretty much broke down which robots was going to take over certain certain fields. So they got like China got about 20 million robots they ready to release. You got Elon with these damn autonomous robots, these what they call I forgot the name of his robot. But then they got those Sarah type robots that
the Tesla bots.
That's gonna the Tesla bots. Then they got the Sarah robots basically gonna be taking over the medical field.
Mm-hmm. That's why they firing everybody. Y'all don't understand why y'all think they just firing because they hate. Nah, they firing because they about to replace everybody with artificial intelligence and put everybody else on universal basic income. And if you don't follow their laws, they turn your money off. You ain't gonna be able to get to nowhere. You're not gonna be able to go nowhere. You ain't gonna be able to eat nothing or nothing unless you follow their laws and they know what you're saying and doing, because you're gonna be on social media nonstop. Because nobody's getting rid of social media.
Nah.
So based on your behavior on social media, that's going to determine whether you eat or move or anything. You know what I'm saying? And they about to take away private ownership of transportation, because with these tariffs on the, you gotta think about it. Damn near all of the cars either have parts that's imported or the whole damn car is imported, right? So even if your car break down after these tariffs hit, these mechanics is going to be charging outrageous prices because of these tariffs. People ain't going to be able to afford to own a car no more, y'all. And they're going to already have a solution. It's going to be them damn Tesla taxis. Them damn Tesla taxis with no steering wheel and with no handle on the inside to open up the door. You know what I'm saying?
That shit crazy, bro.
Taking away private ownership of transportation, and you ain't gonna be able to have access to food unless they want you to, because most of our farmlands import most of the farming equipment that it takes to grow the food here.
Yeah.
Yo, we screwed, y'all. This was chess, not checkers. We screwed, and people ain't talking about it. Niggas want to hear about Diddy. Niggas want to hear about what Diddy. F Diddy. I don't care what the hell Diddy going through right now.
Let me say this too, though.
Niggas need to be talking about this shit.
But let me tell you this though. How they gonna solve the food problems? They just gonna serve us the the shit that they make in the lab.
Yeah, the machine meat.
Machine meat.
The machine meat and vegetables.
Yo.
The shit that they can mix human DNA in and all that.
Yeah, they could produce chicken in a couple days and shit. I mean,
niggas already been eating that at Chick-fil-A and Popeyes anyway. Where you think them Popeyes chicken sandwiches they was testing? Them Popeyes chicken sandwiches came straight from them laboratories.
Machine meat.
Yup, machine meat. And we know damn well that stuff ain't healthy.
Because they speed up the process of everything.
And that's AI. That's artificial intelligence right there. Because the artificial intelligence.
So that's how they going. Yeah, that's how they going to solve the food crisis. Yeah, they going.
But if they don't like what you say on social media, you won't even have access to that. Only the elite is gonna have small farms and stuff where they get real meat and stuff from. Everybody else is gonna have to eat machine meat and machine vegetables. Shit that's not, because they gonna be done with farming. They already making up lies and saying farming is destroying the land, which is BS.
Yeah,
it's just that the way that they got farming set up by spraying it with the stuff they spray, that's what's destroying the land. It's how the federal government got stuff set up to where they got these farmers having to spray certain things on their crops just to be able to grow their crops. And if they don't do that, then they shut their farm down. And the stuff that they spraying on their crops is making the land sick, the animals sick, the insects sick. It's killing the bees, and it's making humans and giving humans autoimmune diseases. Yo, this is a war against us, and I don't give a f if it's Republican or Democrat. All sides are doing it. All sides. All of them, all them world leaders, all them goddamn politicians are against the people. And until y'all niggas wake up and see that, they gonna continue to do it. By 2030, they want all of us eating fake meat, fake food, everything ran by artificial intelligence, and we won't have access to nothing unless they say so, because everything we do is gonna be monitored on social media. And social media is going to be tied to everything. It's going to be tied to your financial, your medical stuff. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to have real digital IDs. The digital IDs, that's how they're going to be able to track everybody in order to get into your account, which they already got now. Fingerprints and all that, so they know it's you. And if you say something on social media they don't like, you won't be able to get no transportation. You won't be able to order no food. You know what I mean? You won't be able to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? And that's where we headed. That's why y'all niggas is getting fired. I seen some people in here saying they losing their jobs. You losing your job because they're going to replace you with AI. And you know, when we used to say this years ago, people used to be, dang, AI ain't going to replace this. AI ain't going to replace that. Nigga, AI is replacing everybody from the trash man all the way up to the surgeon. You know what I'm saying? From the trash man to the surgeon are all being replaced by artificial intelligence. So they can set up universal basic income where everybody get the same amount of money at the same time, and they can turn that money off whenever they feel like it. They can stop the transactional sell whenever they feel like it. The crypto shit ain't decentralized. I don't care how many times them niggas try to tell you that it's decentralized, but it's not. No, it's not. Because the real ways to be able to spend the crypto is not going to be decentralized. Because people don't understand that they taking over all the industries that you're going to spend your money with anyway, and it's going to be automated. And the automated system is going to be like, oh, that's decentralized Bitcoin. We don't accept that here.
Exactly.
That's decentralized Bitcoin. Exactly. We don't accept that here. And that's the only thing that's going to be running everything. Y'all niggas, we being lined up, y'all. We're literally being lined up. This is chess that they're playing. And they're using both political parties to pull off this agenda. So I don't want to hear about should have voted for Kamala. Man, they would have did the same stuff if she was in there. They don't care who's in there because the people who's running it don't care about no political stuff. They only use it as a tool.
Right. These technocrats, like we told you, the bureaucrats out the door, man. These technocrats is the one that's setting up this scientific dictatorship. It's the tech companies, man. Artificial intelligence. These niggas don't have no say over that shit. They don't. They taking the money anyway. They don't shit about that shit. They taking the money. That shit ain't about the people. They sold the people out long ago.
I was wondering why they were so aggressive about going against the Amish, because the Amish do everything in-house.
They do everything.
Everything, even they farming equipment, they make on their own. They literally craft their own farming equipment. So that's why they've been so. That's why the federal government been going at Amish people so much, because they don't want nobody self-sustainable in America anymore.
Yeah.
That's the goal of the federal government. By 2030, we want to eradicate anybody or any type of group that's self-sustainable. They write about it in their books. So this ain't even no theory. This is what they trying to accomplish, and they doing real things to accomplish that goal. And people so busy still arguing about who's the better politician when it's bigger than that. When it's bigger than that. That's what we trying to tell y'all, man. This is they got us distracted with all this BS that's going on. I don't care who this person slept with and who this person did, and or I don't give a F about any of that BS that they trying to have, especially the black community. They love keeping us the most ignorant. Because this is going to affect everyone. Everyone. This is going to affect everyone. They don't want nobody self-sustainable. This is, first of all, this, like we told y'all, anybody who thinking about starting a small business or being an entrepreneur or anything like that, they already wiped us out. We're going to be wiped out. We're going to be wiped out because nowadays, to start even big businesses, to small businesses, to middle businesses, you need to get imported stuff, because that's where the whole country, that's where we've been at. That's the direction we've been going for decades, because all the companies moved overseas. The companies that were here all moved overseas, and all the goods and all the stuff that we need to run companies come from the same places that Trump got the biggest tariffs on.
I'll tell you what.
We're done, y'all. We're done.
Listen, this right now is this right here, this time that we in now, this era that we going into now, the people need to band together. It needs to be people banding together and putting their resources together during times like this, because like you said, when we outsourcing to other countries, the prices is gonna be too damn high.
It's gonna be way too high, bro.
But if you combining, you know what I'm saying, your resources with other people, then you able to sustain shit. Like we said, we work with the Amish community, so being as though we could, band these communities together like that, that's the only way people gonna be able to sustain. So you would have to have the Muslim community working with the Jewish community. You know what I mean? But that's the thing. That's what they fear the most. They want to keep people so divided on every front that they want to keep these groups from banding together. You know what I mean? To basically, be separate from how the government is moving. I tell you, it can be done because it has been done before.
We got played, man.
Yeah, we got played.
We got played.
But I feel like that shit's going to end up backfiring.
We'll see. It's possible. It could backfire on them. We'll see.
I feel like that shit gonna backfire on them. They think it's gonna go one way, but it's not gonna go the way they think it's gonna go.
We're gonna see after these tariffs. All we gotta do is give it a couple more months.
You gotta realize the government
tariffs are gonna be in.
You gotta realize our government is so arrogant that they think any play they put in, into power, they think they're gonna be able to sustain that. And that shit don't be working out for them the way they think it's gonna work out. Is first of all, we in an information age. Information travels much faster, so people can catch on to shit much faster. And that's what they don't take into what the tech companies do. They understand what's going on as far as with that, because they the ones trying to set this shit up. They need it.
I don't know. It can either do that, or it could drive people further apart.
Right. They needed these Elon Musk and Bill Gates type of motherfuckers, because they needed these people to set this shit up.
Mm-hmm.
They needed them. They needed to basically merge the government with these tech, with basically these artificial intelligence companies. They needed that shit, bro. Yep.
And they made sure they used Trump as the wild card to get these patriots on board. You know, the ones that they want black people to think is racist, but nah, these people really trying to protect the United States. Like, you know, the people who with the militias and all that. Most of them niggas believed in Trump, but they was played too, and I knew they was being played from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? And they gonna find out how much they was really been played, and that can draw a further wedge between you voted for Trump, it's your fault. But when both parties is guilty of this, because they're just all actors. Like that's why on this channel we try to tell y'all, because we don't want that split. Oh, Republican against Democrat. Nah, it's supposed to be world citizens against world government. That's what, because it's definitely that with them. This world government is definitely against the citizens. It's supposed to be world citizens against the world governments, not Democrat against Republicans or Muslims against Jews or Jews against Christians or any. Nah. All these world leaders are in cahoots, like we said, and the ones who aren't in cahoots with them, they already assassinated them or already planning to. You know what I'm saying? So that's and it is what it is. That's the reality. This ain't no freaking theory. This ain't no conspiracy theory. This is the reality we living in, and until people wake up to see that, they're going to keep winning. Because the only reason why they are winning is because we are divided. That's the only reason why. Because we judging each other by our skin color. We judging each other by our sexuality. We judging each other by our religion. We judging each other by what sports team we like. We judging each other by what celebrity we like. Like, we judge each other by every damn thing. We judge each other by what diet we're eating. It's like a whole bunch of just division everywhere while they taking over everything. But the last time I checked, both Democrats and Republicans are losing their jobs right now. And I'm talking about the citizens who claim that shit. I don't claim any of that shit because I know it's all just one big clown show. Both who claim Democrat and Republicans are still going to be affected the same by this. I don't care what religion you are, you're going to be affected the same by this. And I don't see why people don't see that right now. I don't know why people see that yet. It's crazy. I don't know how we don't see that yet. How are we still blind to that? How are we still blind to that? Because the moves that the Oval Office and all these world leaders be making, it affects everybody. And majority of the time is negative. And if you do get anything out of it, it's temporary and it wasn't real in the first place. It was just political. And eventually they pull the rug from under it. See, they back a certain group for a certain amount of time, then back another group and let that group take them over. You gotta understand, they play both sides. You got one group that play all sides and manipulate all sides. They turn all sides against each other, sit back, collect all the money and power off of it, and that's how they've been running everything. Divide and conquer. And we all falling for it. Still. I don't care who's in that Oval Office. They all been a part of that same plan. Like I said, Biden basically shipped all the money off to deplete the economy, sent it all to Ukraine and to his personal accounts and probably to the oligarchs or whoever else he sent all that money to. And then Trump came in here with the tariffs to finish the rest. They used both political parties to bring us down. Both political parties are here to bring us down. Both. They don't give a F about you. They don't care if you vote Democrat or Republican. These are just labels. These are just words that we use, that they have us use so we could control and label each other, so we could be divided and they could control us. And they could use that whenever it's beneficial to them. I don't understand how people don't see that yet. I just don't see how people don't. How don't people see that yet? Because you'll sit back and you'll watch a Republican and a Democrat go at it. And they each talk about the evil things that each of their parties did, and I'd be sitting back, yeah, y'all both right. Yeah, that's some effed up stuff the Democrats did. Yeah, that is some effed up stuff that the Republicans did. Man, that's really effed up with those Democrats. Yeah, y'all right. Oh yeah, that is effed up. So if you can sit back and do that with both, that means to tell you none of them are no good. Why y'all still claiming that shit?
Because everybody be part of something. It's like the Bloods and the Crips, LBGTQ community. Everybody gotta feel like gotta be a part of something. And when people are easy manipulated when they group together. So that's just a ploy. That's just a ploy to get people grouped together so they be easily controlled. But when people are their own, people are their own and they not part of no group, it's harder for them to even, manipulate or get things across to these people, because people are, they not part of the system they trying to have set up. People ain't, if you ain't a Democrat or a fucking Republican, how can you be controlled? They only be able to control people through these parties, bro. That shit be manipulated as hell. Manipulate the hell out of these parties through these agendas and shit. But if you ain't going along with that shit and your mindset is trying to be sovereign, you believe in sovereignty, tribalism, then it's not, then you're not easily manipulated by the system because you're not part of that shit. You're not a part of it.
Facts.
You're not a part of it.
Facts. And that's what we're trying to get everybody to see, man.
But I already
all
see
that other stuff.
But I believe, that's what I'm saying. Like this shit ain't gonna last, bro. It ain't gonna last.
Nah, because a lot of people is waking up to this, though. You're starting to see more and more people. On a positive note, we are seeing a lot more people wake up to this.
Yeah, it's not gonna last, bro.
I mean, you could just tell by the last election, a lot of people say, I ain't voting for none of them. You know what I'm saying? That goes to show you where people mindsets is at. And a lot of people had time to think during the COVID shutdowns. That woke a lot of people up too.
Facts.
And the COVID shutdown, that was part of the whole agenda too. That's how they disrupted everything. They wanted to disrupt all the businesses and everything then. All that is about clearing out people from being able to start businesses and all that. People think, and the people who voted for Trump think Trump is for that because he's an entrepreneur, but he's not. He is a company man for the oligarchs. He's a company man for the 1% that's running the world. He don't give a F about a regular American citizen starting a business and be successful. That's a lie. I don't care who's in there. They all company men that work for these oligarchs. And when I say oligarchs, the oligarchs are the ones that's behind the scenes controlling both sides, controlling all sides. And that's just what it is. And like we told y'all earlier in the stream, these major corporations were started by the federal government, because a lot of if you go and you look up the biggest investors and a lot of the people who started these big corporations, or the companies who bought the corporations after it was started by somebody else, if you look at the names, a lot of them were in the political field. A lot of them were in the political field. It's a revolving door. They go from being a senator or something like that to being a CEO of this and that, or they cousins or brothers or sisters or something. They all related. They all be related. It be the family business. You know what I'm saying? And they work both the government and the major corporations. Because when they start these corporations, they go into it knowing they got political power, because they brother or they cousin or they husband or their wife. You know what I'm saying? So it's always been fascism, especially in the United States. It's always been fascism. And fascism, just in case y'all don't know, fascism is when the government and the corporations are one and the same. And that always leads to a dictatorship. That's what happened in Nazi Germany. It always leads to a dictatorship. These big corporations are the federal government. They are. They're not separate, y'all. They are not separate. When you see Nike and Ford and Adidas, all that bullshit, they are the federal government. Always have been. Always will be. It's like me. It's like if I'm part of Congress and JR is like running a big corporation, wouldn't you say that they're one and the same? Think about it. We combine all our shit anyway. Because we family and we business partners. That's how it's ran, y'all.
Exactly.
That's how it's ran. That's how the federal government and these big ass corporations are all one and the same. They're all one and the same. I don't know how people don't see that yet. We still out here arguing about what politician would be better to run the country. Get the F out of here. They all do the same. All they do, they put one candidate in there to do this little bit. Then when that candidacy, when they's up, they put the next one there to do it. And it's all chess. It's all going to one big plan. And they got us thinking, they just got us going, swaying from left to right. They got the people emotions going from left to right. But really, they playing chess. They setting things up so they rule everything in the future. But they got us swaying left to right. And the only reason why they going left to right is because they need the Democratic ideology to do to accomplish this part of the goal. They need the Republican ideology to accomplish the other part of the goal. And they just keep swaying from left to right until they accomplish the big goal. And that's to have all you niggas on universal basic income, social media credit scores, and hooked up to an automated system to where you can't eat, sleep, drink, shit without them. You won't even be able to use your toilets if it's a smart toilet. You won't even be able to shit without them. You won't even be able to use your toilet. Like, we turned your toilet off. You shit on yourself. We turned your smart microwave. You can't even turn that on. Smart cities with smart houses. That's what's coming. Because they're going to be like, oh, we need more efficiency. That's going to be the big word. Why you think is Department of Government efficiency? That's all they're going to be talking about. Efficiency. Well, what's the best way to create efficiency? More automated artificial intelligence shit, because they're gonna be like, oh, artificial intelligence make things more accurate, it's more calculated, so we're going to use artificial intelligence and automation to make sure there's not too much wasteful stuff going on. But really what it's going to be doing is governing you in a dictatorship type of way, but only an automated system dictatorship. To where if you, like I said, if you say something on social media they don't like, they turn your money off. They be able to lock you in your house if you let them build these smart cities and these smart homes. You won't even be able to get out your front door.
No, they gonna build them.
You won't even be able to get out your front door if they don't want you to get out. Oh, we need another COVID lockdown? Oh, that's real convenient for a smart house. Because you be like, oh, I'm going outside anyway. Yeah, all right. You go to try to open up your door and the shit, you don't have access. You're quarantined. If you don't think that's what's happening, that's why y'all niggas are losing your jobs, because they know no humans that want to build no shit like that. But you know
because artificial intelligence doesn't have emotions. They don't judge.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they don't have emotions, so they don't have to. They don't have morals. They don't have to worry about morality and none of that shit.
Nope.
So if you put everything on an automated system and let the AI make the choices, like they doing about 40% of the world now is automated. So they don't have no feelings. They don't give a shit about how you feeling.
Exactly.
You call up there, you can call Raven and cussing all you want. The AI don't care nothing about that. All they gonna do is press 1 if you want to talk to such and such. Press 2, you up there mad as shit, and it's telling you
Exactly.
Press 1 if you want to talk to an operator.
I don't
Press
give my
2.
consent to that. I don't
You know
give
what
my
I'm saying?
consent to none of this
You
shit.
up
Nope.
there screaming, yelling, and this all it's doing is I don't understand what you're saying. I don't understand you cussing and shit. I don't understand that language.
Exactly.
Press 1 if you want. You know what I'm saying? They don't have, they don't care. They don't care. So if you put in artificial intelligence between the people and the government, then they able to do whatever the hell they want.
Right.
Until people band together and be like, well, we don't want this shit. Sorry. It's not
And if
working
it's a
out
smart
for us.
city,
Right. People gotta be like, man, this ain't working out for us.
finished.
We need to go back to this. Don't be fooled, man. The people still got the power. Don't be fooled.
Bro, I
keep us
guarantee
separated
you.
through these. They keep us separated through these weak ass political parties.
100%, guarantee you, 100%. All those companies that's going to return back to the United States because of the tariffs are going to be ran by artificial intelligence.
That's artificial intelligence.
Because they talking about, yeah, it's going to be 20,000 jobs, like just by Ford coming back. Just by Ford coming back and all, that's 20,000 jobs. Ain't gonna be no damn 20,000 jobs for no humans.
Exactly. Because if you think about it, if these companies come back to America, then you have these artificial intelligence companies already set up to set their shit up already.
Exactly.
They already contracted already through artificial intelligence companies like xAi and all that shit. Tesla. They already set up. They already contracted. That's the deal. See, that's the package deal. They ain't telling nobody that when these companies do come back, they got to contract. They got to get contracts with these artificial intelligence companies.
They already got them.
Right.
That's why Elon Musk was
that's what they leaving out. They're not telling the people that shit. They leaving that part out. They just telling you that artificial intelligence is 10 years from now, artificial intelligence is gonna be taking over jobs. Man, how about tomorrow?
Exactly.
How about tomorrow? Ain't no 10 years from now. How about tomorrow?
And they ain't telling you that these tariffs is going to cause trade wars.
They ain't telling you this
global trade wars,
right.
Which means it's going to plunge the global economy and everybody's going to be freaking homeless. And that's their plan. That's their plan. They want everybody to be homeless because if everybody's homeless, they can push this universal basic income. And then the world will agree on it. All the world leaders say, yeah, we all agree. Universal, just like how all the world leaders agreed on the COVID shutdowns and all that. They're going to agree on this universal basic income. Like, well, how are we going to run this universal basic income system? Artificial intelligence and automation. And everybody had to have a digital ID.
Let me pull this shit up so y'all can understand.
Yeah, it's a done deal, y'all. We've been set up. And this plan, they did this plan century. This is a century-long plan.
Let me pull this up. See, all right, new study looks like how people would spend money on universal basic income. Let me pull this clip up. ABC.
100-year plan that they had.
Pull this up real quick so give people an idea what the hell they are. It's just a short video. Let me pull this up for y'all.
Yeah, we gotta learn to go back to the basics. But how many people know how to farm? How many people know how to? People don't even know how to make a mill from scratch anymore.
Could one day be.
Let me know if y'all can hear this.
Yeah. We can hear it.
Whether a universal basic income could one day be sustainable. It's from a study conducted by Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, who has warned about major job losses across certain industries as artificial intelligence grows more powerful.
The speed of the change that may happen here is the part that I worry about the most.
Altman's study gave 1,000 low-income people $1,000 per month over a 3-year period. It was free money, no strings attached. It's something former presidential candidate Andrew Yang supported during the 2020 campaign.
This would create millions of jobs, make our children and families stronger, and give all Americans a better chance to transition in the economy of the 21st century.
Altman's study found people mostly spent the extra money on basics, such as food, rent, and transportation. The largest increase in their spending was to help family and friends with their bills. Many people also put money in the bank. On average, with the extra money, they worked about 1 hour less per week. The research was conducted amid concerns that artificial intelligence will eventually make millions of jobs obsolete, leaving many people scrambling to find new ways to make a living.
With every great technological revolution in human history, although it has been true that the jobs change a lot, some jobs even go away. And I'm sure we'll see a lot of that here.
Critics dismiss the idea of a universal basic income as un-American, comparing it to socialism, saying it would lead to dependency and suffocate innovation in the economy. The tech industry titans, including Elon Musk, Twitter co-founder Jack Dorsey, and the so-called godfather of artificial intelligence, Geoffrey Hinton, support it.
So I'm very worried about AI taking over lots of mundane jobs, and that should be a good thing. It's going to lead to a big increase in productivity, which leads to a big increase in wealth. And if that wealth was equally distributed, that would be great.
The study also found with the extra $1,000 each month, people initially had less financial stress, but that stress eventually returned 2 or 3 years later.
That's showing you right there. See, they already ran the test studies on this shit already. That's what these little stimulus check shits be too. Don't get it confused, bro. Don't think they just giving out stimulus checks to people just cause they testing that big universal basic income shit to see where people spending their money. Like we said, 3 years later, it was, you know what I mean? 3 years later, they ended up in financial stress anyway. Showing you that shit ain't gonna work.
If you say something on social media they don't like, you won't even be able to spend that little measly $1,000 anywhere.
Facts.
Because you're gonna get it through a digital system. It ain't gonna be cash anymore. It's funny how they showing cash on there when they know they switching to digital currency.
Exactly.
And none of that shit is decentralized, like we trying to tell y'all. Right. Yeah, in principle, it can be decentralized, but it's not. Because in order to spend that, you're gonna have to go through certain rails that's not decentralized, that's going to be centralized, and that's the only way you're gonna be able to buy any goods. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna shut you down because they can just be like, we don't accept the decentralized currency here. Let's just be real. This shit is over, y'all. Unless we all band together and do something now, it's too late.
You notice
we should have did something yesterday.
OpenAI ran that universal basic income study.
And the thing is, this stuff can be used for good, but the people we got running this system are wicked.
Exactly.
Because it ain't nothing wrong with AI in itself. It's not nothing wrong with any of this stuff in itself. It's just that who's controlling it? Wicked hands is controlling it. That's the problem. Because there's nothing wrong with digital currencies. There's not nothing wrong with artificial intelligence. There's not nothing wrong with, you know what I mean, artificial intelligence taking over certain jobs and stuff, but they're going to use it to control people and be wicked. And that's what this is about. That's exactly what this is about. It's the wicked people who's controlling the technology. They're not using it to elevate us. They're using it to control us and manipulate us.
Yeah, enslave us. Right.
And yeah, that's what they're using it for. There's nothing wrong with something in and of itself. That's what everything on the planet. There's nothing wrong with any of this stuff in itself. It's your intentions behind it and what you're doing with it. And that's another message we want to get through. We don't want y'all to think that we anti-technology, anti-social media, we're not anti any of that. We anti-wicked individuals using it to control and enslave people. That's the difference. Nothing wrong with it's not nothing wrong with the technology itself. You know what I mean? A lot of this technology is cool. It's some cool stuff in it, and it will relieve a lot of problems in the world that we had, solve a lot of problems, but it's only going to create problems if it's in the hands of wicked individuals. That's the point that we making.
Yeah, so y'all definitely need to share this live stream.
Yeah, we about to
click that like button too. If you ain't click that like button.
Facts.
Queen said, I'm actually playing fool right now. Yeah, that's what you're gonna have to start. You know, playing your own shit.
Right.
Yep.
Man, this has been sponsored by nightandayherbals.com. So if y'all haven't already,
yeah, get that
make sure
fruit
y'all head
infused
over
sea
there,
moss.
nightandayherbals.com, man. We got good stuff on there, you know, herbal stuff, all chemical free. You know, we got detoxes on there. I mean, for those of y'all who want to detox, we got soap and body oils, and we got some fruit infused sea moss over there. You know what I'm saying? So I know a lot of y'all definitely been ordering from us, and we definitely appreciate all the orders. You know what I mean? We appreciate y'all who've been supporting us. Y'all know that's what keep this show going. And yeah, man, that's nightandayherbals.com.
Shop with us over there. Definitely shop with us. And sheesh.
All right, man. We definitely appreciate y'all. If y'all haven't received y'all orders this week, y'all definitely receive them next week. Or by the end of this week.
Yeah, because we shipping out packages as the orders come in.
Facts.
I mean, we packaging it up and shipping it out. So
And some of that stuff is made like fresh to order, like the sea moss and all that type of stuff. So
fresh to order sea moss. So y'all will get, if you order, you definitely getting your packages regardless. So
facts.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, man. I guess that's it. Anything else you want to say to the people?
Nah, that's it.
Make sure y'all subscribe to this channel, like this video, share it. I mean, look out for our next live stream. We got to keep the information flowing.
Right.
And on that note,
If you crave nature but still shop online, Night and Day Herbals is your dream come true. Discover premium herbal soaps, shampoos, and CBD products. All organic, all for you. Shop now at nightandayherbals.com.